Hi, I'm Alan Walker and I'm here at IHR Live in Manchester, meeting some wonderful recruitment folk and hearing about what they're doing in their businesses to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of recruitment. I'm joined by Hannah Mills of TalentWorks. Hannah, nice to meet you.
You too.
And why don't you, for our audience, give you a little intro as to who you are, what it is you do, and maybe a bit about TalentWorks as well.
Yeah.
Great.
So I'm the talent acquisition manager at TalentWorks. So I look after the in-house recruitment, and we are an RPO service and also offer digital and creative services as well to our clients. So I help recruit for the whole business.
Okay. And as I understand it, you are the recruitment team.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
The embodiment.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Physically and spiritually.
Of course.
Yeah. Excellent. And TalentWorks as a business, how long have they? How old are they?
So 12 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're really starting to go through a really good growth period at the moment. And through COVID, we really kept our clients established, and we're growing since then. So,
Yeah. Okay. What do you think is causing that growth? Is it
I
just doubling
think-
down on certain things? Or?
Yeah, I think consistency with our clients and the way that we work and how good our work is and
Yeah.
our name in the industry. I think that's what's really helped us have a great pipeline of clients and to really help us propel for the future.
And there's a burgeoning number of kind of your size of RPOs that are coming
Yeah.
out to the market. I won't mention other names because it's about you,
Yeah.
but it seems to be a more common thing that people are moving away
Yeah.
sometimes from some of the big, large RPOs
Yeah.
and going in and working with smaller ones, maybe on a project basis,
Yeah.
maybe on longer term stuff. But it's great to see that there's much more competition now, I think.
Yeah, I think us as a smaller organisation can really help our clients and we can be adaptive to make sure that we can offer the service, the best service that they want.
Yeah, rather than being super rigid and
Exactly,
saying this is how we do things, like it or lump it
Yeah,
kind of thing.
100%.
It's something it's more tailored for them. Excellent. And I understand this is your first IHR event.
It is, yeah, it's really good actually. Some great speakers as well, and some great talks, and that's my reason for coming really, just to see if I can pull any strategies or new ways of recruiting or anything that I'm missing to improve our onboarding or to improve our recruitment process.
Okay, and we'll talk about onboarding in a second.
Yeah.
Actually, is there anything else specifically you're looking to improve in your team that you've identified? Because you're 6 months in, aren't you?
Yes,
Is that right?
yeah. I think diversity, that's a huge thing. The culture of the company, making sure that we're making the right hires. Is there anything that we can do to make sure that we're including everybody within that hiring process and
Yeah.
coming here to make sure that and listening to those talks to see if we are doing the right things. The reason for coming here.
Excellent. Any particular speakers that you've either seen already that you really liked or that you're looking forward to?
Marcia Goddard, she was great in talking about diversity and inclusion, and yeah, she just had some fantastic points that I'll definitely take away today.
What did she do that was different? Because there's always a lot of DE&I speakers.
she's-
I enjoy that, by the way. I used to run a DE&I consultancy, so it's a passion of mine.
Mhm.
But sometimes you come to the events and it seems like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing, but you're clearly blown away by...
Yes, well, she's a professor. She was talking about how our brain works and the reasons why, and the reasons why we're biased, and how
Okay.
we can't identify why we are biased. And I think talking about that and recognising our own mistakes or our own bias will be great in kind of recruiting the best talent and seeing where we're falling short as well.
Right, so it's kind of taking a mental check of the things that you might not even be aware of that
Yeah,
you're biased
exactly.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and being aware of your downfalls
Yeah.
and working on those.
That's really interesting. I might have to try and check her out since she's on YouTube
Yeah,
or something
definitely.
later. Excellent. You touched on onboarding a second ago, something
Yeah.
that you're looking at and potentially improving.
Mhm.
And why do you think onboarding is so important?
I think since COVID, the world of recruiting has completely changed, as we all know. But we need to make sure that our culture is correct and we're transparent in the way that we recruit, and we support the people that we're recruiting, and we communicate well. And I think without any of those things, we're not going to retain the talent in the future. So that's what we're really working on to make sure that we kind of make sure it's happening.
Yeah. What are you changing within TalentWorks around onboarding, or have you changed already?
Yeah, so the engagement piece, obviously since COVID, when we first made the hires during COVID, it was completely different. You weren't allowed to go in the office, introduce yourselves to the team. So we really had to work on our communication piece. So we've really changed that up and made sure that we are sending out engagement emails during their notice period time,
Yeah.
making sure that if they want to have a chat with the team members that they're going to be working with before they come into the business, that we allow them that opportunity. So
Good.
we've made those changes to make sure that the candidate feels comfortable, that they're already part of the team before they've even started. That's people connecting on LinkedIn. to make sure that they feel welcome.
Yeah, so it's about bringing them into the team even before they're part of the team.
Virtually connecting with the team, because most people are working remote or hybrid, so usually in your first week you would meet your whole team in the office, and you would get a feel for how they work and their personalities, and you'd form friendships. That's a longer period of time now, probably up to 6 to 8 months, where you really get to know who you like from your team, who you become friends with. So being really conscious of that with remote working and hybrid working is what we are really trying to do, to make sure that we're building that team feeling without them being in the office 24/7.
And have you stayed as either remote or hybrid business? Is that the kind of business model moving forward?
We're very flexible. So however that candidate wants to work or feels like they will best work. I don't think one specific model for any one person is right. So I prefer hybrid because I like my motivation is people and meeting people and being in a team. But I also have children, so I need to be flexible on pickups and drop-offs, and that's what talent works are, really flexible. And I think since COVID and everyone's realigning with what they are looking for from an employer, they want people to be, they want their employer to be flexible and to understand their outside of work activities. So I think no one model will work for everyone.
I think it's amazing it's taken something like COVID to change businesses and think like this.
Yeah, and I think it's
bonkers.
Yeah, and I think it's leaders trusting in their employees. At first, they probably didn't trust them to work from home, but now because everybody has done that, they've built their trust up because they've been made to. And I think that's where it's.
Sometimes, I guess you do need these cataclysmic events just to make people understand that things can be done differently. Particularly leaders, as you say, they're of a certain age, they're maybe more traditional than the rest of the workforce. They're used to going into the office at 7:30 in the morning and leaving at 6 at night.
If you're not here at 7, if you're not leaving at 6, you're not working hard.
It's bonkers,
people work
really.
in completely different ways. So people will have spats of work, they may work from 2 hours to 4 hours and get so much done. Others will span it out across the day. So we really need to be making sure that we understand that and understand how our employees work.
I personally, I'm not great for just small talk. I love this kind of thing, it's great, but I can just chit chat. I like just to get my head down and work. However, I can only do that for a certain period of time and then I'm knackered. So I would rather go at it hard for 6 hours and then go, I'm just going to finish at 4. But I'll still have achieved the same as the other person who's chatting around the water cooler for 9 hours a day. But they need that extra time because they've spent more time chatting.
And then those people are motivated by their employees to find the motivation, then go back to their desk and complete their work. So
it's what's right for the individuals, absolutely. Excellent. And where does onboarding start, do you think, and when's it finished? Because everybody has a different view.
From the very first interaction, onboarding, I think, because from the very first interaction, they are going to make an opinion of how it works. They will come into contact with culture, our values, and the culture and values come from our behaviours. So if our behaviours are, we're dismissive, our communication isn't great, then they're going to follow that through into when they start. So we need to make sure all our values are being portrayed from the very first communication, and that's up until whenever. Their onboarding is as long as it takes, and to retain the staff, we need to keep that constant communication with them, see how they are, be very open, be transparent, supportive. And so I'd say now the onboarding process seems even longer than it was before because we haven't got that direct contact day to day. So maybe 6 to 8 months is when they may feel settled in.
Yeah, exactly. But it's that first period when you're most likely to lose people as well.
Exactly,
If people don't think the job's right, they'll normally resign within the first 6 to 9 months. They don't stretch it out for 2 years and go, perhaps that wasn't the right thing to do for the last 2 years of my life.
And I think the really important part as well is between when you've hired them and when they start with you. So making sure that you're keeping engaged with them during that period of time is really important, making sure that other team members are engaging with them too.
Because as you know, recruitment, especially at the moment, it's rife for counter offers and people being offered silly salaries to a certain degree in certain organisations. Do you think that approach that you take to onboarding is preventing you being at risk of those counter offers?
And I think that some of the challenges that we faced during COVID. Our communication wasn't great, so we lost candidates, and good candidates. Whereas now, because our communication has improved, we're making sure that they feel engaged. We're sending onboarding emails regularly during that notice period, and I will personally reach out every week to the new starter that's happening, that's coming into the business. So I think that's really important, building that personal relationship with that person coming on board, because it's a huge step for them. Somebody moving a job, and also working remotely or hybrid, they need to make sure they're part of the team before they start.
It doesn't actually take a lot, does it?
No.
It just takes a bit of will to want to do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be super polished, super sophisticated, even lengthy.
Yeah.
It's just a, how are you?
Exactly.
Could actually mean a lot.
Yeah, offering that support to them, and being transparent about what's happening. So, okay, I'm trying to get a laptop to you. There's been a few issues, I'm really sorry, but instead of leaving it to the day that they haven't got their laptop, so little things like that really help them feel part of the team.
Well, I remember joining a well-known large corporate, in fact the only well-known large corporate I've worked for, who I love dearly. I was there for a number of years, but when I first joined them, it took me 4 weeks to get my own laptop.
Oh wow.
So I was using literally my own laptop from home.
Yeah.
I remember the first day, after a couple of hours in, I was like, I need to go to the toilet. I don't even know where the toilets are. Nobody showed me.
Yeah.
I hadn't got a security pass. It was all silly little things that are silly little things in the grand scheme of things, but they mean a lot to the individual.
Yeah, 100%.
And it doesn't take a lot to actually support
and I think
those things.
we've
At least when someone's working at home, you don't need to tell them the toilets.
Yeah, very true, very true. And we try to make sure that they're engaged with the whole business. So for their first week, they're not doing any client calls, they're not meeting any clients. We are just embedding them into TalentWorks and letting them know who we are, who the teams are, who's there to support. So they will have an introduction to every single aspect of the business and every department, so that they can have an insight, build friendships, build that communication. So if they are struggling in the future, or if they're looking to go somewhere for information, they know exactly who to go to, and we're transparent and open. I
always used to say, excuse my language, it's about knowing which levers to pull to get shit done. And if you throw somebody in the deep end, they don't know where the levers are, or even any idea of which one to pull.
Exactly, and that's the open communication. If you've got that open communication and that team feeling with the company, you won't have to pull on those people to get shit done, because you know we're done.
Exactly. Listen, Lauren, it's great to meet you. One last question for you. Is anybody else you're looking forward to seeing later? Or any of the vendors maybe?
I think everybody at the moment. I'm going to every talk that I can go to. I did go to another talk which was about autism, and I found that really interesting.
I heard that one was really good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I've got a daughter that's severely autistic, and a son as well that's on the spectrum, so it was really insightful into how we can really adapt our recruitment to help people with autism.
Was it Jim and Jade, was that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Listen, nice to meet you.
Brilliant.
Been a pleasure.
So
See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.